The pipes ticked in the soot-caked dark, a half-mad metronome above Miles's head as he navigated the corridor's oppressive heat and backwater gloom. Hot condensation slipped down slick copper as the Mora water dripped and pooled beneath electrical wires, swelling the dull stench of burning oil and something sourer, metallic, like pennies sucked between broken teeth. His sweat prickled and clung, the only warmth in a world otherwise ruled by shadow and grinding cold. Light came sparingly here, filtering down in jaundiced streaks past the vents. Miles ducked his shoulders and edged deeper, glancing every few seconds at the warped iron doors to either side. A flickering utility bulb hung overhead by a tangle of cords, its yellow eye casting the passage in half-glimpsed shapes. Valves crusted in rust, a gloved handprint, oily and black against a pressure gauge, the rails of a gurney half swallowed by shade. Somewhere deeper, metal shrieked and gasps rattled in the dark, echoes chasing him. He hugged his satchel of stolen amphetamines, 20 packets, the score that would set him straight. If he could just get upstairs, past human resources, past security, out of this maze below Building G. Sweat trickled into the crook of his elbow. Pain shot through his jaw, a ghost of the molar he had shattered chewing pills last night. Behind him, footsteps. Slow, heavy, a dragging limp. He stopped, pulse kicking. Clara's voice quivered from his earpiece. Miles, copy. Get out. The fire doors are all locked. Something stripped the security override. He clenched his eyes shut, fighting the crawling urgency in his veins. I need another exit. The hatch on level A. Negative. Motion sensors. East stairwell flagged. Miles, someone's down there with you. Above the ticking pipes, something scuffed. He sidestepped broken glass and let his hand drift to the cold steel concealed at his hip. Every sense opened wide. Was it the pills? The paranoia always peaked on a come-down. Yesterday, he had sworn he'd quit, begged Clara to trust him one more time. But he needed the pills. The world was mud without them. He pressed forward, boots crunching grit. At the far end, the boiler room yawned open. Swollen doors drooped on battered hinges. Slabs of locked iron gouged with scratches. Shadows clustered near the floor. The pipe's ceaseless chorus followed him. Tick, tick, tick. Each clock-like thump a pulse in the chest of this industrial underworld. As he entered, the sticky reek of propanol and blood cut through the haze. The boilers throbbed. Towers of dull red in a chamber packed with tangles of metal, whirring fans, and stacked crates. Something else moved in the hazy corners. A shape stood bracketed beside the industrial guillotine, once a crude device for amputating twisted steel, now crusted dark with spatters that weren't rust. The shadow stepped into the cone of greasy light, It wore a maintenance jumpsuit caked in filth. Where the name badge had been, bare skin showed through, welted in strange symbols. On its head, an ancient welder's mask, painted with angry red eyes and wire mouth. One arm hung oddly, the sleeve soaked black, wrist twisted as if snapped, and clutched in that ruined hand, the jagged blade of the amputation guillotine itself. The edge wriggled, its surface crawling like a nest of beetles. Miles's mouth went instantly dry. The presence radiated hunger. It swayed from side to side, a breathless tremor in its stance, as though fighting the urge to leap. When it spoke, its voice was ragged, echoing with a too familiar cadence, almost mimicking his own, phrased like every addict's promise. "We can make it better. Cut out the sickness. Just one clean slice." His throat tightened. He recognized the voice behind the metal. Tomlin, the maintenance lead who'd vanished 3 months ago during a mid-shift bender. Tomlin, who'd broken every rule, who'd owed money and promises to everyone who'd tried to help. The thing smiled behind the mask, a sound, not a gesture, a wet gurgle sliding through the air, a sharp metallic snap. The guillotine's blade jerked open, a laugh crackling like frost. "Give me your poison, Miles, or I'll take something else." He edged back, hand searching the dark for anything, a pipe, a wrench, a way out. Every muscle wanted to break and run, but adrenaline tangled with withdrawal and kept him frozen, heart thumping at a pace that echoed the sizzling pipes. The thing's ruined fingers tightened on the blade, their nails black and torn. Suddenly, a soft whimper sounded behind the boiler. Miles glimpsed a mop of tangled hair. Sam, the janitor, young and narrow as a fox, blue jumpsuit streaked with oil. Sam's face gleamed with tears and terror as he pressed into the tight space behind a wheezing hatch. In a hiss of steam, another presence moved. Harper, the senior supervisor, clutching her walkie. Her jaw was set, bearing an old scar up the cheek. "Get away from him," she barked at the masked figure, voice shaking but defiant. "That's not your tool. Stand down or I swear I'll call the police." The creature's gaze drifted to Harper, the welded eyes narrowing. "Intervention? You think anyone up there can save you? You were all sick. I saw what you hid. Pills, needles, coins. Everyone pays." Harper hesitated, sweat beading on her brow, and Miles realized she was shaking, the walkie little more than a talisman, useless down here. Even above, few ever listened. The blade snapped down, a slap of steel on the block. "Your turn." The boilers hummed, the pipes ticking, accelerating, the pressure valves whistling an off-kilter tune, a rising panic in metal voices. The masked thing advanced, boots dragging, every motion twitching with an inhuman economy, like it was learning to move its body and still getting some angles wrong. The guillotine's open maw glistened with something sticky and red. Sam whimpered, hands pressed against his ears. Miles felt every inch of his skin flare with restless need, chest gnawing with that old hollow. He remembered what Clara had said. Get out. Don't look back. But there was nowhere to run. Suddenly, Harper lunged at the thing, swinging her radio. With apparent ease, the masked human snatched her by the wrist and slammed her against the wall with a sick, shuddering crack. Miles recoiled, bile rising. Harper's walkie broke, scattering batteries across the grates. Sam burst from his hiding spot, scrambling past. Miles grabbed his arm, whispering, "Stairwell, now. We go together." "Why is it alive?" Sam sobbed, voice almost childlike. "Why is it talking to us like that?" Harper moaned, dragging herself upright, lips trembling. Blood dripped down her arm. The creature cocked its head at Miles. "You feel it, don't you? That itch. You knew Tomlin before he became this. You helped him, lied for him." The voice thickened, a slurry of bitterness and yearning. "Take your medicine, Miles, or I'll take something you love. You owe the debt." The guillotine's gears squealed as it was raised, the blade catching the jaundiced light. At that moment, the pipes above groaned. One ruptured, steam screaming through the room in a tongue of scalding white, boiling the air. The creature howled, lurching to shield its wounded arm. Miles seized the moment. He and Sam dashed for the exit hatch, dragging Harper behind. The handle jammed. Miles' teeth clenched, slammed his shoulder against the latch. "Help me, Sam!" They shoved together, steel biting flesh. Harper tried to focus, hands slick with blood, fear dogging her every move. The steam parted. The masked thing stepped through, pieces of his jumpsuit sizzling where the vapor kissed it. But it seemed unfazed, something darker than flesh moving beneath the fabric. It stared at their desperation with a calm, relentless malice. It moved, far faster than before, closing the distance with a single lurch. The blade arcade, slamming into the wall just beside Miles's head, spit splashing embers and shredded insulation. The clank vibrated up his bones. "You don't want to be like Tomlin, do you?" It croaked, sweet and poisonous. "One slice and you're free. You won't want any more." Its ruined arm thrust the guillotine forward like an offering. "Choose." The pipes howled now, deticking a frenzied heart skittering inside Miles's skull. Pain, thirst, and terror braided together. The blade, sharper than anything in his memory, gleamed with the promise of oblivion. Clara's frantic voice crackled from a battered speaker, somewhere above. "Miles, please, just let go of the drugs. Don't let it win. I can get you out. Please, but the thing leaned close, mask inches from his face. "It's not just you, Miles. The sickness spreads. Quitting's a lie. You cut, you break, you began." In that instant, Harper surged forward, sacrificing leverage for desperation. She rammed the guillotine's arm with her bleeding elbow. Miles tackled the creature's legs. Sam tried for the emergency alarm, tears streaming down his face. The guillotine whirred, its blade caught between the creature's hands. The struggle pitched the group against a wheezing pipe. Scalding steam burst free, catching Sam's hand. He screamed. The sound ricocheted between the tanks. Miles felt the creature's ruined hand clamp his arm, strength uncanny, fingers grating bone, blade sliding toward his wrist. Red light danced across the steel. His body wanted to submit, to give in to the hot edge, let the dreamless nothing wash him clean. He caught Harper's eye, wild, determined, streaked with silent pain. "Don't let it have me," she mouthed, lips trembling. The creature pressed the blade harder, growling. "Just one cut. Make it stop." Something in Miles fought back, the smallest pilot light against the black wind hole. Remember every addict who'd begged for one more chance. Tomlin's face before the spiral, the image of the pill bottle, the taste of metal. He screamed and twisted, wrenching the guillotine up. Blowback caught the creature's chin, snapping the mask askew with a shuddering, almost human cry. He glimpsed a face beneath. Blistered, eyeless, mouth full of rotting teeth. "Sam, the salt. Throw it." Sam, ragged and burned, grabbed the maintenance salt and hurled it at the thing's chest. Where the granule struck, the creature shrieked, body shuddering, flesh dissolving in ragged holes. For a heartbeat, the guillotine's grip faltered. Miles smashed it with the fallen pipe. Harper limped forward, hands shaking, and grabbed the device, hurling it into the steam vent with a clatter and hiss. For a moment, with the blade gone, the maskless man howled and bucked, body folding in on itself. The reek of burnt hair wrapped the room. They staggered upright, breath hitching. The masked thing thrashed, voice reduced to a keening. "Please, just a little, just a taste." Echoing Tomlin, echoing them all. Harper found the emergency lever. The outer grate began to rise. "What about the others?" Sam muttered, but any others were already lost to the pipes and the dark, their debts paid in limb and certainty. As the three crawled through the shaft, the air snapped cold and fresh, slicing away the heat and filth. The doors slammed shut behind, cutting off the wail below. Miles's hands spasmed, blood slick on his skin. Sam wept. Harper sobbed, silent and bitter. But in the hush outside the boiler room, the silence wasn't relief. Miles's mind buckled beneath memory and craving. Each heartbeat was a drum. Each tick of a distant pipe was the guillotine's blade descending again and again, a clockwork hunger. They staggered back up into the world of fluorescent lights and regulating officers. The old steel beneath their feet, the lost stairs of those left behind. Harper's arm bled. Sam rocked. Miles's body throbbed with withdrawal. Above, Clara met them, clutching Miles in cold, trembling arms, sobbing, "You're lucky. Lucky. You don't have to go back." But Miles saw the truth. Addiction was a razor you carried in your bones. Every day you chose whether to feed it or to lose a piece of yourself. Everywhere in the building, pipes still ticked, each pulse a whisper that someday soon someone would hear the mask's promise and reach for the blade. In the weeks that followed, Miles kept his distance from dark places and unused corridors. But sometimes, late at night, he'd hear the ticking through the walls and catch the coppery taste of longing beneath his tongue. Sometimes his hand would close unconsciously around the memory of the guillotine's hilt. And more than once, in the silence before dawn, he'd see a red shimmer under the door. Hear a voice, honeyed and ruined, offering release. He knew now that the shadow in the boiler room wasn't Tomlin alone. It was the need, the promise, the debt no one truly escapes. Whatever you cut away, the hunger waits, mask grinning, blade gleaming, forever in the ticking dark.